Phil Jackson refuses to condemn Arizona's immigration law. In fact, he kind of came out in support of it, all right? And people are upset because a huge majority of Lakers fans are Hispanic. So during Game 1 of the Western Conference on the 17th, there were an estimated 40 protesters in front of Staples Center, and they were protesting Phil Jackson and the fact that he will not condemn the immigration law.
Let's get his quotes.
Okay, so first off, he says, during an interview with ESPN, he basically said, "Am I crazy or am I the only one who heard the legislature say that we took the United States immigration law and adapted it to our state?"
So he seems to think that it's no problem at all. When the sports reporter J.A. Adande asked him, "Hey, don't you think it's usurping a federal law to do that?" And he said, "No, it's not usurping. They give it some teeth to be able to enforce it." Now, all right, so he's in favor of the law. He's allowed to be in favor of the law. You know, it is what it is, right? But then his second comment actually bothered me more, because then he went on to talk about how the Suns shouldn't make this political.
Right. He says, "I don't think teams should get involved in the political stuff. If I heard right, the American people are really for stronger immigration laws, if I'm not mistaken. Where we stand as basketball teams, we should let that kind of play out and let the political end of it go where it's going to go."
Well, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, you came out and said it seems like you're in favor of the law. I mean, it's not that hard to figure out, right? So if you're saying you're in favor of the law, why can't they say they're against the law? Okay, so that mystifies me a little bit. Now, look, Jackson has a case saying, "Hey, you know what? I didn't. They put Los Suns on their jersey. I'm not changing the jersey." How would he change? Maybe he could change it from Los Angeles Lakers to, you know what? It's now the City of Angels Lakers. Okay, we're taking the Los out. Okay, that would be unique. Now, he didn't go that far. Of course, I get it, right? He's allowed to believe whatever he believes. You're right, it's dumb, because until I moved to L.A., I didn't realize that apparently the Lakers are the team of Latinos. Mm-hmm. Okay, but Latinos love the Lakers here. And obviously, I'm generalizing. Obviously, some Latinos don't, especially if they live in Phoenix. Well, maybe that's a different situation, but then they went to Los Suns. There's a lot of ways this thing goes, okay? But I was ready to say, hey, you know what? So Phil Jackson believes that. Maybe it's not a smart marketing move, but I don't think it necessarily means he's, prejudicial or anything along those lines. So I was going to kind of pardon him, okay? Mm-hmm. But then this other quote that I hadn't seen before popped up. And this is from the past, but it made me kind of go, Go ahead and give that to us, Anna.
Okay, so basically the NBA passed this dress code, right? And Phil Jackson gave a comment as far as what he thought about the dress code. And this is what he said. "I don't mean to say this as a snide remark toward a certain population in our society, but they have a limitation of their attention span. A lot of it probably due to too much rap music going on in their ears and coming out of their being." I don't know what that means.
I'll explain it.
Mm-hmm. "The players have been dressing in prison garb the last 5 or 6 years. All that stuff goes on. It's like gangster thuggery stuff."
I don't know, man. That sounds pretty bad. In the beginning, I thought, well, maybe he's talking about young kids, right? He's like, because he says, towards a certain population in our society, they have a limitation of their attention span. I thought, okay, maybe kids, right? Then he goes to probably too much rap music going in their ears and coming out of their being. The funny thing is, he's supposed to be some liberal hippie guy, right? Mm-hmm. And like coming out of their being, and that's the kind of like the 1960s talk, etc. Hold hands and etc. So I'm like, okay, rap music, that's not going in the right direction, right? Dressing in prison garb the last 5 or 6 years, all that stuff that goes on, it's like gangster thuggery stuff. Yeah, Phil, you're losing me. You're losing me. I mean, you put all that stuff together, and I'm beginning to think, I don't know where Phil's going with all this stuff. And I mean, you're not going to do anything about it. I mean, some people are saying boycott the Lakers. Look, if you live in LA, you're going to like the Lakers, and this isn't going to change your mind, likely, right? But and probably politics should stay out of sports. And, because then, all right, what does the owner of the Lakers think? What does the point guard of the Lakers think? What does the bench of the Lakers think? I mean, et cetera, right? So I get that line of thinking. All I'm saying is I got a note next to Phil Jackson's name now. I'm watching you, okay? Because that's two questionable things in a row, and it makes me wonder where the hell you're coming from.